And here we are, live once again from the Coppercoins studios in beautiful Cary, North Carolina. See, we've got a few people watching. I've got a 1963 roll here. Now, this roll's different from the one that I was showing the other day, but this one is just as interesting. I made sure I picked one that had a lot of character. And this one's got a lot of character. Because, well, everybody knows that I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And this particular roll is a Pittsburgh branch of the Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland. So here we have a quintessential rivalry in the NFL football working together in the Federal Reserve Banks. You've got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns working together right here. So as an interesting roll, I decided that I would open this one instead of opening that one that was from the Provident Trend something bank. Because, well, that one had to do with an important case in the Supreme Court, and I decided to just leave that roll alone for now. So right here I've got 50 different names. Hello, Jeff. Still got people talking in here. Steel Curtain, that's right. The Steel Curtain. So we got a few people in here watching. I've got 50 different little cardboard chips here with all the names on them, the people who purchased spots in this particular roll. And then I've got this one left over right here. And this one tells me who's going to get the wrapper, who's going to get that Fed Reserve wrapper from 1963. As soon as I draw this card, the person whose coin I looked at prior to having drawn this card will get the wrapper. So I got my bag here. I just used my bag a few minutes ago, and it's empty now. We're going to put our 51 chips inside the bag. Shake it up real nice. Sometimes it makes me think I'm not shaking it up well enough. End up dragging 3 names out. They're all the same person. Alright, let's see how I need to work on getting this roll open. Pry this little puppy apart right in front of you guys so you can watch the magic happen. These coins have not seen the light of day in, what, 56 years? We're about to give them their chance. If I can ever get my thumbnail around this little lip. I'll try to use my right thumb. Wow, this one's giving me fits. Hello, Miss Penny Parent. This is our last live opening for the day. If I can get the wrapper undone here. Well, Pittsburgh used some tough paper, I'll tell you what. All right, I finally got it. Here we are. Okay, so now without crunching up my fingernail, that's going to be a workman comp claim there. Crunched up my fingernail trying to get a roll of pennies open. Okay, 50 spots, 50 coins. They all look relatively clean. Looking through them real quickly here. They look relatively decent. So let's go ahead and draw for the first coin in the roll and see who gets that roll ender. Mr. Hampton. Paul Hampton. It's coin number 1. Let's see what's on coin number 1. Now, with these, we're looking for double die obverses. Specifically, there's a couple of double die obverses that really heavily affect the date. Ooh, look at the toning on that baby. That's nice. We've got some bar L's, got some doubled eyelids on the obverse, but the reverse is what I'm truly focusing on with this roll, because the reverses If we find some of the nicer double die reverses, we've got some serious coins on our hands. There's a number of different double die reverses. Most of them are really kind of minor, but there's a few of them that are just absolutely stunning. Well, this is a nice coin. Came out nice and brightly colored. But we got no die variety on it. Mr. Hampton gets coin number 1, and there it is. Put the wrapper up here. And coin number 2. Wild Bill. Hello, Wild Bill. Let's see what Wild Bill ended up with here. See if we got anything. No doubling in the date. No doubled eyelid. No doubling in Liberty. In God We Trust is clean and free of doubling. Let's look at the reverse. What I'm looking at on the reverse is generally the same thing I look at on the reverses of most of the other coins of this particular era. I'm looking for doubling toward the rim, separation lines with doubling toward the rim on all the outer lettering. If we find one, you'll definitely know it. Because these things they're hard to miss. But unfortunately, we don't have one in this particular coin. That's coin number 2. It goes to Wild Bill. Now, coin number 3 is for Mr. Marlar. Benjamin Marlar. Let's see what Benjamin gets. It looks like a slightly spotty roll, but hopefully we'll find some double dies in here to go with some of this toning, because that would be spectacular. Hello again, Sindelicious. Let's see what we got here on the reverse. And I am so far seeing nothing. These aren't known for doubled steps or doubled anything inside the memorial, but I always look, because you never know when you're going to run into something that nobody's seen before. I mean, there was a time that 1982 reverses were not known to produce double dies, and now one of the strongest double dies in memorial cent history is on the reverse of a 1982 cent. Joe McBride gets the next one. Let's see what Joe McBride gets here. Okay, so we have nice fresh uncirculated coin there, but it appears that it may be a normal coin. I'm looking at the width of the letters in trust. They look a little wide to me, a little wider than they should be. That should follow down to the 3 of the date, but I'm not showing any actual doubling going on that I can see. I'm going to have to call that an artifact of lighting and move on. As with all the other rolls that I do go through, I will be going through this one again to be sure that I didn't miss anything. To be sure everything I saw was exactly what I thought I saw when I went through it the first time. Although this is a nice digital microscope, it's not the best lighting or the best situation to do roll searching. So I tend to see things that aren't necessarily always there, or I tend to miss things that are. I like to go through these again just to be sure. Hello, Hector. Wild Bill again. This bud's for you. Oh no, we got a spot on that one. I always like to look at the inner hook of the 9. There's a double die that shows doubling there. There's a double die that shows splits on the digits of the date. Alright, folks, I'm seeing too much here to say this isn't. This looks to me like a double die. It's hard to tell. but I think I see it on the W, I think I see it on the E, and I think the letters in trust are too wide to be quote-unquote normal. This could be a case of die deterioration, but I got the idea that I may be seeing some hub doubling here. Okay. Well, the way I solve that is I have my loop hanging around my neck, and I'm very used to using it, so I will pull it out here in just a second and take a look at the In God We Trust on this coin through my loop to see what I see. And if it's there, I'm going to see it. Let's see what we got here. No. I'm not seeing any evidence of hub doubling on here. It's too bad. I thought that was a double die. Did we look at the reverse on this one? Or let me pocket it real quick. Okay, nothing on the reverse. Alright, so that's coin number 5 in the roll. Let's find out who gets coin number 6. Jeeping John. Wow, Bill gets this one. Looky there. What do we got? Big double die, no whammies. Come on, buddy. Big double die, no whammies. Looks like it might be another whammy. And that's not a wide AM. A whammy in this stuff is a bad thing. It'd be a normal coin. See what else we come up with on the reverse here. See if there is anything on the reverse to come up with. And I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing a late die state reverse, and that's about it. Let me move on to the next coin. This will be coin number 7. Coin number 6 belongs to Wild Bill, and coin number 7 will go to Sing J. Mr. Singh, here is your coin. I found some really cute 1963 double dies in a roll one time. Didn't really even expect it. And then when I found them, I realized, oh, 1963 is actually worth keeping an eyeball on. So when I ended up with a few bank-wrapped rolls of them, I decided to do a roll reveal on one of them. I hope I don't regret it later, but these are generally pretty productive. Of course, this one might be a really quick dud, but let's keep it on the positive side. Let's have a happy little tree. Let's try the next coin. That one's going to be for Mr. Hampton. Andrew O'Neill, Black Cloud Mining. Hello, welcome to the channel. I don't remember having seen you in here before. What we're doing here is we're going through an original bank-wrapped roll of 1963 Lincoln cents. We're looking for double dies. We're looking for pretty much anything of value that has not seen the light of day in, what, 56 years now? Since it was wrapped up by the Federal Reserve System in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The home of my Pittsburgh Steelers. So what we did was we put these coins up for sale prior to opening the roll, so to be completely fair to everybody, nobody had any idea exactly what they were going to get when they bought these. I had no idea exactly what they were going to get. Next one goes to Mr. Marlar. And so whatever comes out of the roll is exactly what that person gets. I draw their name. Now see, that looks... That may just be a weaker strike. I guess I'm going to have to go with a weaker strike and a very worn die on this one. Now you get the exact coins that I pull out of the roll and show you under the scope with your name drawn down below. So Benjamin Marler will get this one. This very coin will be in his collection soon. We run an auction every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And when we run that auction at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we put all kinds of, well, wonderful, tasty things up for auction, such as wheat cents, really nice coins. We put up rolls, lots, die varieties, errors. This one's for Hawkeye. And we get done with the auction, I announce which rolls I'll be opening for that week and offer up spots right then and there. And that's the only time you can buy them is Tuesday at the end of the auction. Now, if you don't want to hang around for the auction, you just want to come for the roll reveals, we usually get to them right around 10, 10:15, 10:30. That's Eastern Time. So if you're on the left coast, it'll be 7:30. That's why I was really quiet there for a second. I had to do some math. I'd do some ciphering in my head. And coin number 11 will belong to... Hello, Amber. Copper Kingdom. Copper Kingdom gets coin number 11. And... I also look for those bar L's on the 1963 Lincolns. 1963 is relatively well known for having the bar L, which is basically Class 8 tilted hub doubling that shows just beneath the L of Liberty. And what it will be is the second lower part of an L letter. And the result of that looks like a bar underneath the L. So we call them bar L. The bar L double dies. Did I see your question? No. We all know you are the king of copper, but what about the large cents? No, I don't do Indians. I don't do large cents. I know just a little bit about them, only enough to get me in trouble. So, sorry. I just do Lincoln cents. That's pretty much my specialty. It's been my specialty all my life, and it will continue to be that until I retire, I suppose. This one's Copper Kingdom. I wish I had a way of just holding a roll to my forehead and saying, this one's got double dies in it. Yeah, I'd be sure I would only open rolls like that for you guys. Well, this is about as late die state as they come. This is just about worn to a frazzle. No doubling. There's a lot of spotty coins in this. It's a matter of the wash that they used on the planchettes before they minted the coins, and that turned in the roll over time. Yeah, I doubt I'll retire. This one goes to Paul Hampton, too. There's another coin for Paul Hampton. What does he get? Okay. So far, we're 13 coins into the roll, and I haven't run into anything yet of any note. So I will continue going through this roll at a slightly faster pace until we actually see something to slow down for. So far, I've not seen anything to slow down for. Who was it? I guess it was Coin Dragon who posted one time. This one's for Copper Kingdom again. Posted I was shoving a roll of coins back into a tube, and evidently I did it with lightning speed. And Coin Dragon picked up on it, and he posted in the comments that, look at this time hack with the minute and seconds into the video, and you'll see ninja level coin tube filling. That was kind of funny. I am at ninja level stuffing coin tubes. I have been doing this for just a little while, so I do have just a little bit of experience with it. Here's Mr. Patet. I won't forget that. Mr. Patet was so nice. I was pronouncing his name wrong, and I knew I was pronouncing his name wrong because I couldn't have been guessing it right. So I kept asking him, how do you pronounce your name? And I was coming up with all different types of pronunciations, and I was so quick to try to get the pronunciation of his name, I was still just as confused at the end of asking him as I was before I asked him. So after we finished the broadcast one night, I get an email from him. It has a video. And it's Steve Patet telling me how to pronounce his name. I just thought that was so funny, that someone needed to send a video to pronounce their name for me so I could get it right. Mr. Hampton. Paul Hampton gets the next coin. And there's just a lot of color on these, a lot of toning, but it's not exactly the toning that we look at for value. Guess we need to stuff it back in the potato for a while. No, I didn't say that. I got a late die state reverse going on here. And no doubling. Ooh, there's a struck through right there. That is non-displaced metal that has been sunken down into the surface of the coin. That right there, folks, is a struck through. We can see that the metal is deep. There's a kind of like a deep hole there, but the edge of the little canyon, there's no fairing. There's no lifted metal showing damage or where that displaced metal went, which means that this happened while the coin was in the minting chamber. So that's kind of interesting. Little struck through. It's kind of a deep little cavity. Furrow, that's the word. Thank you, Coin Dragon. Ken and his furrows. Whereas this one, okay, this happened after the coin was minted, because on this we have those furrows. You can see by the light that there's a little bit of raised metal. So you've got this canyon here, but you've got raised metal at the edge where that displaced metal, when it displaced outward, it pushed upward too. And so you've got what looks like the edge of a crater. So this happened after the strike, whereas this little guy over here, this happened during the strike because there's no furrows. Get you focused here. There we go. You can see where there's just a sink in the metal without anything rising. So there we go. I do the best I can pronouncing people's names because mine happens to be a name that a lot of people get wrong on a pretty regular basis. So I do the best I can to make sure that I'm not doing the same to other people. So my name is just Daughtrey. It's very simple to pronounce. It's very simple to say. But if you look at it in spelling, I guess there's a lot of people who in that they see Daughtery, Daugherty, or all different kinds of other names that are not mine. My name is just Daughtrey. It's pretty simple. And for those of you who were around during the music scene of the late 90s, you know who Chris Daughtrey is. Chris Daughtrey and I share the same pronunciation of our last name, although not the same spelling. His is spelled different, but we still say them the same way. There's that interesting die gouge right there running between the D and the W in Godwe. That's a concentric die gouge, which means it'll probably continue on around. Nope, doesn't look like it does. It's all by itself. Interesting little die gouge right there. There's nothing else on this one, though. Hello, Blues. My buddy from Oklahoma. Interesting story about Oklahoma. I had a friend who was going to buy a house east of Oklahoma City, kind of out in the country just a little bit. And the house was really cheap. It was like, wow, this is amazing. So he went to look into the house and went to give it a nice close inspection. This is Steve looking for silver. And he found that there were some noises in the walls. Oh, that's really strange. So he asked the agent what they knew about maybe being termites in the house. Nope, termite inspection was just done. There's no termites in the house. Okay, well, a full disclosure, you have to tell that. So obviously they found no termites in the house. So looking around in the house, they ended up finding the culprit. So a scorpion. So they ended up tearing a wallboard out, and the walls were filled with scorpions. There you go. Thank you very much, and there is your good night story. Here's Hawkeye. Needless to say, he didn't really want that house after that. Cool to see, not very cool to live with, though. I had a friend one time, I was talking with her on the telephone. She'd already gone to bed and was laying in bed and started feeling something itching on her. So she jumped up real quick and turned the light on. There was a scorpion in bed with her. You don't really think of Oklahoma as being that big of a state for scorpions, but evidently there's plenty of them there. Top of that, the brown recluse spiders. Oh my gosh. Brown recluse spider is almost as big as your hand. Everywhere. I didn't see a whole lot of venomous snakes, but I did see a lot of bull snakes there. I love bull snakes. They're really cool. Steve looking for silver. Let's see what he got. Right here it looks like, well, we're 19 coins, 20 coins into the roll, and we're getting some spotty coins, and we're getting some not so good looking coins. We're not getting any die varieties that I have noticed so far. Although, folks, I will definitely be going through this roll again to be sure that what I thought I saw is what I indeed did see. But for now, what I'm seeing appears to be his normal 1963 Lincoln cents. Yeah, there's scorpions all over the U.S. And in some areas they're dangerous, like out in the desert in the southwest, in Arizona, you can run into what's known as a bark scorpion. Bark scorpions are dangerous. They're very venomous. And they're easily recognizable at night with UV light because they glow under UV light, fluorescent lighting. Exactly why they glow, I'm not really sure. But they are the sole scorpion species in the United States that will glow. We had scorpions in Missouri when I lived in Missouri. They were under the rocks, under the big flat rocks. Little brownish red things. All right, Mr. Patat comes up next. What does Mr. Patat have? Well, look at that. It's the same thing as all the other coins in this roll. Nothing so far. Nothing do I see. Looks like we ended up with a not very good roll. But we might just do something special for people based on the results of this roll. Already, if you join me last hour when I did the 1963 D roll, I had already planned on doing a second roll for the first. So everybody would double up on what they got, double up on their chances to get a nice double die or repunch mint mark. This one belongs to Paul Hampton. Although with 1963 plain, I cannot do that because I do not have enough rolls to go around. But I may actually make an announcement at some point later on regarding something special. Everyone who did the 1963 roll with me may get something special. Who knows? We're getting close to that time of year, aren't we? So it's not just the bark scorpions that glow, huh? We have others as well. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know because I've never lived around any of the ones that do glow. Where is here? Black Cloud Mining. Black Cloud. Are we talking about like South Dakota? Singjay. That's all I can think of when I think of Black Cloud. I think of the Black Hills. Black Cloud sounds like an Indian name, and there's a lot of Indians in the Black Hills, so I just deduced that he was probably talking about South Dakota. Oh, it's kind of difficult to read from here because I'm wearing glasses that only get me so far, and then everything gets blurry, and I have to take the glasses off to be able to read. There's that dog again. Wait. There it is. Do you hear it? It's Sherman. Yes, it was in southern Missouri. Where I'm talking about was around the shores of Table Rock Lake, down around Branson area. My grandparents lived there when I was a little kid, and I used to go there and do the fishing, and used to do some rock hunting and finding arrowheads and stuff like that, and finding tarantulas and scorpions under the rocks. And I don't know why I did that. I was actually kind of afraid of scorpions, but I was so drawn to them. I had to flip the rocks over to look at them. And then I get them out of the way with a stick. I flip the rock back over and watch them crawl back under the rock, and then I leave them alone. Did a lot of fishing down there. Bass, crappie. Had some gar. Not fun. When you hook a gar and you're trying to get it up to get the hook off of it, and it's thrashing around with all those sharp teeth. How many cents do I go through in a day's time? Well, not nearly as many as I'd like to. But typically when I'm doing something like, just pricing inventory and going through a roll reveal or two, probably 300, 400, 500 coins a day. Let's see who gets the next one, Mr. Dunn. Yeah, so 300, 400, 500 coins a day. Sometimes less, sometimes more. I'll go through many fewer coins on days when I'm actually doing something like trying to get ready for an auction. I've already got the coins picked out that I'm going to run at auctions, so at that point I'm not actually looking for coins or trying to go through any coins. I'm just trying to get coins ready. So photography, computer work. My job is probably 2/3 computer work. Spend a lot of time on the computer. My day is spent mostly on the computer, working up some inventory here and there, walking my dog, taking a nap, and behaving like I'm retired. Madding gets this one. Let's see what we got from Madding. Well, it's turning out that this reveal is not the best reveal I've done. Beautiful area talking about North Carolina? It is. It's really nice around here. What do I have here? Is that... Well, I need to take a closer look and inspect this one just a little bit closer. This one looks like it could be a double die reverse. It's not a very strong one if it is, but you keep going around, take a look at some of the other areas where I would generally look. This lower area of the N in 1 right here usually shows your double dies pretty well. And then I look at the designer's initials, especially on the earlier die state examples. The earlier die state examples tend to show a little bit better than these later die state ones do, but I do believe I'm seeing some hub doubling on this coin. I think I may be seeing it there. Let me check the A. That's where I saw it first. Looked like a split on the bottom corner of the A of America here. See that? And then at the top of the C. Yeah. I think we're looking at hub doubling there. It looks like a double die. Don't know how many of these I've skipped already, so I'm going to have to go back through the roll, of course. But this appears to be a double die to me. Let's look at the N in cent. That'll help me figure it out. That's the T. There's the N in cent. Let me turn this around. Excuse me. I have a dry throat going on. Yeah, look at that right there. Come on. There. Right there at the bottom of the N in cent. Takes a look, thinking maybe he's found some hub doubling for matting. So what we're going to do is we're going to back out. We're going to get some markers on this. I already see some markers. We've got a lot of east to west die scratches on the lower reverse here, but I need to find something a little more definitive as a single marker to use. So there in Bay 10, we have a heavy die scratch, east and west die scratch. What else do we have here? We can just use that. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. That's a nice one right there. Those die scratches right through the corner of the roof. Okay, now let's look at the obverse again. See if we can pick up a marker off the obverse. Oh, we've got easy markers on this. Easy markers. See what the best ones are. So we get a really good marker and know that we found something. I'm going to use that die scratch that comes down out of the hair. That right there. And that heavy die scratch under the T of trust. I'm going to use those as my possible marker. I can't believe that we're 27 coins into the roll, and I'm just now noticing that. But we'll see if we run into any more of these. That does appear to be a minor double die reverse. So let me keep looking. Oh, let me stick Matting's name in this one. Don't want Matting to miss out on his coin. There we go. Let's draw another name. Now remember, if I draw the two little stars, the person whose name I drew right before the stars is the one who's going to get the wrapper. Going to get that Pittsburgh bank wrapper. Let's see what we got here. Not seeing anything particular. Now in the obverse, we don't have the die scratches that I was looking for. It may be a double die reverse matting. I'm not 100% sure right now. I'll have to look at it under my other scope. In fact, I could probably just take a close look at it using my loop and I could see. It's kind of questionable. It's very minor if it's there. questionable. I'll have to take a better look at it under the scope, but it looks to me like it may or may not be. Hard to tell. Sometimes even when I go to shows, I buy a number of coins that are maybes. They end up in a bag later because they were nopes. Here's coin number 29. Hawkeye. Hawkeye has a coin here that appears to be normal on the obverse. So the normal obverse, let's take a look at the reverse. And as it appears, oh, look at that. That's just an interesting way that the reflections were working with the initials. That's why using more than one light source is not a good idea, because if you have light coming in from different directions and you're shining light on both sides of a mountain, you can't tell how high that mountain is. You can't tell whether it's doubled either. Everything looks doubled when you got two lights shining on it. And matting again. Let's see what matting gets this time. Well, there's that die scratch. Now is the one under the T? No. Looks like a different die. Unless that thing under the T wasn't a die scratch. I had a couple of others that I was kind of looking at. Ooh, what's that? Is that a die scratch? Or that is a die scratch. That's a heavy die scratch. Man, that's one of those hello die scratch. I don't think I've seen this particular die before that I know of. This is a very late die state coin, so even if it had doubling, we wouldn't be able to really see it. Too mushy. Mush mush. Well, that was one nice die scratch on there. Holy moly, I can see that just looking at the coin. Well, there's an interesting little piece for Mr. Matting. Let's move on to the next one. Do the wrappers hold any value if you keep them? Some people enjoy the wrappers. Some people like to collect the wrappers simply because, well, they've got age, they've got history, they've got a name of a bank on them, most of them. I used to keep them, but I just got to a point where I had so much stuff, I had to really figure out what I was going to keep and what I wasn't going to keep. And, well, the wrappers were one of the first things to go. So, excuse me, while I see them as interesting, I don't see them as having real value that's like hang on to it value. I send the wrappers out more as an interesting conversation piece, a token of my appreciation for working with me on the roll, and, well, just because I don't have any place for them. Now, this particular wrapper, I don't know. Given that it's Pittsburgh and Cleveland, there's two of your AFC North teams right there. Steve looking for silver. Steve looking for silver finds himself a 1963 Lincoln cent. What do you know? All right. Well, I've only seen 31 of those today. And this is number 32. Try to look relatively carefully just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And then even at that, with all the experience I have doing this, I'll go through 3/4 of a roll and then find, oh, cool, there's an RPM. Or, oh, neat, there's a double die. And I'll go back through the roll and I find 4 more of them in the coins that I've already looked at. Sometimes you just hit it just right and you see it. You've been through all these coins and you haven't seen it yet. Hey, look at that. There's another one of those. Well, we know that's going to be normal. What a marker. But This time, unfortunately, it tends to be a marker for a normal coin. So then the ones that have the really nice markers like that, I admit I go to special effort to see if I can find anything on the coin because the marker is so nice. Don't want to give up that marker. It's kind of like filling up a tank of gas in a car that doesn't run. It's like you're ready to go, but you got nothing to go to. All right, so that one turns out to be another normal coin. What about 82? Majestic? Chuck is known as a living coin god in 50 years, and Lincoln Cent is known as a Chuck Cent. Huh. You guys. Here's matting. I just like playing around with pennies. I'm not going to claim any special gift or any god level anything. I'm just going to claim that I like what I do. How does that sound? I like what I do, and you should too. You know, oh, look at that. Let me flip that around so it's easier to see. Isn't that interesting? Little die crack coming off the bottom of the O of 1 headed to the rim. They always say it, and it's really kind of true. If you really enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life. And well, I can tell you that's true for me. As I enjoy going to the lake, I enjoy a little bit of boating once in a while. I enjoy hiking. I like being out in the sun, but I have lupus and it doesn't allow me to be out in the sun very often. But I love being out in the woods, in the real woods. Not in the Florida woods, but like the woods here in North Carolina are really nice. I like skiing. So I'm not always sitting in front of a scope. Just most of the time. Copper Kingdom gets a normal coin there, coin number 35. And let's take a look at coin number 36. Be from Mr. Patat. Got a lot of brownish coins going on in this roll. Who can hear my dog? Anybody hear that? He only comes in here and lays down and snores like that when I want to do a video. No, he's not digging in the carpet. He's snoring. He's laying down, sleeping. That's the noise he makes when he's snoring. You can see him over there, right there. Mr. Patek gets a normal coin out of this roll. Looks like everybody's getting pretty much normal coins. Except for that one that could be a double die reverse. I'm sure I'm going to find more from that die when I do a review on the roll. Yeah, especially if you've got earbuds or if you've got like really good noise canceling headphones on. You can hear me, and then every time I'm quiet, you should be able to hear the dog back there snoring. Love my little boy. I didn't draw a name for that coin. Oof. Mr. Patat. Draw a name for number 38. Mr. McBride. Mr. McBride. Man, some of these coins just turned out really spotty. Yeah, yeah. Got yet another normal coin for Mr. McBride. On to coin number 39. Let's see who gets this one. Mr. McBride gets the wrapper, that Pittsburgh wrapper. Congrats, Joe. You got yourself a pretty looking little wrapper. And next coin goes to Madding. Madding gets this one. But you think sometimes the dog's loud enough I can't even hear myself think. And it's true. He gets loud enough sometimes I have to go over and move his head just so he snores quieter. You know, it's like some of you have problems with teenagers that run loud music in the house. Some of you had problems with construction up and down the street because you moved into a new neighborhood. Well, I have a problem because my dog snores. He's sawing them logs hard. Poor guy. He got all worn out from his last nap. Wild Bill gets the next one. That's right. Well, you cut his 10 o'clock nap even 1 second short, and it messes up his entire day. There's another one of those with the crack at the bottom of the O head toward the rim. So we're running into the same coins, same dies over and over again. There's another struck through right there at the bottom of the steps. So we had issues with grit, grime, probably oil on the dies. Had a problem with the planchet wash, which made the coins tone down in the roll. A young cat with sharp claws and a thing for feet. That's a cat that would be visiting the wall regularly. You clamp onto my feet and I'm going to clamp onto you. Oh, there's a big old ball of wax on this one. I'm not exactly sure what this comes from, but it's on a lot of the earlier Lincoln cents. It comes right off the coin very quickly. It's just wax, but I'm not exactly sure. I guess it's a coating for the paper that got scraped down into a clump and ends up between coins in the roll. But it's not in any way stuck down onto the coin. That's right, wax off. See that? I just brushed right off the coin. You can see it. It's right here. I'll put it on my... It's just a little piece of wax. I don't know where they come from. I see them all the time in these rolls, though. See, right there? It's that little piece of wax. Came right off the coin. So... there I removed part of the coin. The waxy part. But no idea why it does that, though. Guess maybe I should find out so I've got a good educated answer for everything. This was from Mr. McBride. Excuse me. Dog's making me tired. Can you snore louder? He doesn't hear me. He's snoring too loud. Sing J gets the next one. Let me get that wax off of there. Let's see what Sing J gets. Put this back in focus here. Well, there's a nice die scratch from the... And see, there's a partial clash right there, right under the 1 of the date, between the 1 and the 9 of the date. That's a partial die clash. So we may see other marks that show us a die clash, especially right over here. There may be one, or there may not. And it appears this time around there is not another mark. So there's some more of that wax under the L right along the rim. That stuff basically falls right off the coin. I don't even worry about it when I see it, because I know just a little xylene bath and it's gone. There's some more of it right there. Clumpy, clumpy wax. Now you know what it's like to live with a bulldog. Left of someone's finger. What's left of whose finger? Mine? Mr. Dowdle gets the next coin in the roll. What finger are we talking about, Coin Dragon? Oh, wait a minute. What's left of someone's finger? Because sharp claws, nothing for feet. I say Frank wax off. See the roll. Seal the roll. And, you know, it could have something to do, the wax, with sealing the paper. But the thing is if you actually look at the paper itself, it doesn't appear that there's any wax really in or on the paper. It just looks like craft paper, like grocery sack paper. That's basically all it is. So, yeah, I really just don't know. But that stuff tends to find its way onto a number of the wrappers. Or a number of the coins, I mean. There's another one of those that looks like could be a minor double die. What was our marker on that? East to west die scratches, that was one of them. And then another one was one particular die scratch somewhere else. Oh, it was over here. It should be right there. And it is. So we have another one of those. I've noticed a second one now, which tells me that is probably indeed actual hub doubling. You can see it as an extra little line running down the left side of the right side of the A, and then the corresponding side of the M in America. And then you can see it again in the tail of the R, the very bottom tail of the R. You can see that there's a split right there. It's a little notch. You can see it on the top of the I and on the top of the C, and then on the side of the A. So it's minor, it's small, but I'm pretty sure it's there. Les, I don't think they dipped any of the rolls in wax. There wasn't a point in doing that among the places that actually did the wrapping. You have to remember that coins were only wrapped to make them easier to count in larger quantities. They weren't wrapped to try to protect the coins. They weren't wrapped for any other reason. They were only wrapped for counting purposes. And it would make no sense to wrap up coins in paper and then put wax on them. For what? To seal the roll? Why would you want to seal it? You have to think very pragmatically about how they handle coins. The fact that we find these little minor double dies, it's all nice and wonderful, but there was no quality control constraints that tried to catch the minor stuff. They were catching the like the 55 double die and the 72 double die and the other ones like that. Who knows what there could have been out there that there isn't because they did catch it. But in general, with regard to the minor stuff, like what we've found here today, they weren't even trying to catch that stuff. But when it happens, it's neat. So we collect it. Mr. Patet. Mr. Patet gets the next coin. What do we have on the next coin? Nothing there. What do we have on this side? Nothing here. Normal coin. Coin number 45 belongs to Mr. Patet and is a normal coin. Coin number 46 goes to Hawkeye. Hawkeye gets coin number 46. And what do we have on coin number 46? See how late die state this one is? See how all of the lettering is just feathering out to the rim? That's what happens when you get an extremely worn die. And well, that makes the roll hunting a little less fun because you can't really see any of the minor stuff once the die gets to that die state. All of the minor doubling that would be on the outside of the letters is completely worn away by strikes. Copper Kingdom. Copper Kingdom gets the next coin. So far, I've not seen any double die obverses out of any of this. That doesn't mean that when I go back through it, I won't necessarily find something, but no promises. I can't make them where they don't exist. Gosh, dog. All right, coin number 47 belongs to Copper Kingdom and is another normal coin. Coin number 48. Do I still have 3 in there? I do. Coin number 48 will go to Mr. Dowdle. Coin number 48. Appears again to be a normal coin. Here's my phone again. Somebody's sending me a lot of email. So when the die is worn, it makes the letters look pushed and doubled toward the edge of the rims and is worthless. Not that it's worthless, but that it is much more difficult to see any of the hub doubling that could be there. And if there is hub doubling, generally the collectors for things like that want to see the ones that are earlier die state more than they want to see the ones that are later die state, simply because it's crisper, shows up better, sharper. The details are all sharper on the earlier die state coins. So when you get to a very late die state coin like this, they're less desirable simply because the details are all getting fuzzy. Another later die state coin there. I might pick a 62 roll and go through a 62 roll for the same people who had this roll. We'll just see if that works. Who's the last one in the bag? Anybody know? Anybody want to guess? I wouldn't have. Steve looking for silver. Gets the end roll coin. Let's see what it looks like. See anything there? And you got a lot of toning on the reverse, which was exposed to the outside of the roll. Other than that, we just have a late dice date coin. So, oh, did I see a struck through in the middle of that? Yeah, it's small, but it's there. Got a little struck through on the column to the right of Lincoln's feet. Excuse me. So, other than a few toners and a possible double die reverse that I'll have to look at later, basically ran into another so-so roll. I might do something for you guys later on this one. Who knows? So there we have it. Joe McBride, you should have 3 in here. Should have 3. I didn't actually announce the names for every single one of them, so I believe you had 3 in this roll. There's 1. 2, 3. Mr. McBride had his name in here 3 times. Let's see. Sissy Atwell just finished a beautiful roll of 62D filled with lots of RPMs and a possible DDO that you got from me. Awesome. So you got a 62D roll from me, and it's got some nice possibility. I like that. And so when I stack these together, the possible die varieties, they go in a different direction. So these are in a different direction from the rest of them. So I know what I went through and what I looked at. And then I've got 2 roll openings to do tomorrow. I've got a 1960D roll, which is a original roll. It's this one right here. It's an original roll, however, it's not in a bank wrapper. It's a tubed roll. The coins look pretty nice in there. And so I figured this particular sticker, this particular handwriting on this particular color of sticker, I went through a couple of weeks ago. I went through, half a dozen of the rolls just to get coins to put in wrappers to sell on the website. And I found lots of RPMs in those rolls. And of course, I left them in the rolls and I wrapped them up and I got them ready for sale. But this we can go through and we can find, I'm sure there's going to be double RPMs in here. So we've got this roll. And then after that, tomorrow, we're going to do this one. This is a 1950D roll. And it's a nice original roll. The coins on the ends look just fine. They look nice. The ends are a little mashed down, and the reason the ends are a little mashed down is because this thing spent years in a nickel tube. And so it was mashed down inside of a nickel tube with a cap on there, and it was probably jostling back and forth, and it flattened the paper on both ends. But it's still an original roll. So we'll be doing this one tomorrow. And then for all the people who did a 63D coin with me earlier today, we'll be going back into another 63D roll on Friday. Last bit of the reveal, you missed it. Trust me, it really wasn't a whole lot to stick around for. It was not that wonderful a roll, but Mr. McBride did get the wrapper. Get a Pittsburgh branch, Federal Reserve Bank of Cleveland wrapper from 1963. And then I was just discussing these other 2 rolls that I've got coming up. And, well, that's it for now. What else we got, folks? Any questions? Any comments? So we got 27 people in here. We've got 13 likes. So only half of you liked it. Or at least that's the message I'm getting with 13 likes and 27 viewers. Coin Dragon. Do I have any examples of 1983 P1DR002? I do not. I don't own one of those, unfortunately. I've been looking for years and years, not found one yet. I do know that it has notching on the letters of In God We Trust. I mean, not In God We Trust, duh. Notching on the letters of United. Especially if you, one of the pickups I use, because I've seen the coins before, is in the UNI of United. There seems to be enough doubling that you can really pick up on it pretty easily. Penny Parent, you hear my poor dog over here suffering? You can see him over there. Right there. He's laying in his little bed. He's suffering because he's snoring extra hard because, well, his 10 o'clock nap was interrupted by his 10:30 nap. And, well, now he's on his 1 o'clock nap and he's sleeping in a little bit. But I'll be waking him up before too long so we can go out and pee so he can come back in for his other nap. Must be tough being a dog. Especially this one. I mean, he's got 4 beds. So he doesn't have to go far to get to one. That's the very last thing I'd want to do is put my dog through an arduous journey trying to get to a bed. To lay his poor head down to go to sleep. If your head were that much bigger than your body, you'd probably be tired a lot too. All right, folks. Well, I really appreciate you coming by this afternoon. I do have 2 rolls that I'll be opening up tomorrow. And then we have the Coin Night Live Auction. Not Coin Night Live Auction, duh. We have the Coin Q&A tomorrow evening. Tomorrow is Thursday, and we'll be having the Coin Q&A. I'm not exactly sure who's going to be hosting it. I wish I did know. Well, you folks take care too. Blues, are you still in here? If you're still in here, let us know who's hosting the show tomorrow night. Or Penny Parent if you happen to know. Paula's not in here to tell me. She would know. She kind of mother hens over that project. Well, thank you, Mr. Durbin. It is Paula's turn. Okay. So Paula will be hosting it. Paula Bloom, B-L-U-H-M, has a channel here on YouTube. You can find her channel. Join us tomorrow evening at 8:30 Eastern Time, or 5:30 Pacific, for the Coin Q&A, where we will be looking at coins that other people have sent in photos of for us to examine to let them know what we think they have. If you've got something you want to photograph and send in, it's going to be at checkmycoin@yahoo.com. Checkmycoin@yahoo.com. We'll take a look at it as a panel, discuss it, tell you what you've got, and educate everyone who's watching at the same time. It's a very educational show. We come together and we do a lot of discussion. We answer questions. Oh, and Coin Help You will be there as a special guest. That's for those who don't know, that's Daniel Malone. Daniel Malone has a Facebook page, Coin Help You, and he also has a YouTube channel where he does a lot of coin stuff, answering questions and going through different subjects, bringing you the news. I guess that's all I've got for right now. I got to get to Adam's coins and get them off to him. I got some new photographs taken. Adam really wanted to know. See, I told you, I'm not joking. I've got your coins right here. Adam wanted to know, and I'll tell him real quick while we're sitting here. 1937 DDO. Yes, this is a double die obverse. 1937 is a double die obverse. The 1941 DDO with an eyelid. Kind of. I'm going to say, yeah, I see it, but I'm not sure about this one. Not sure if this is something I can really do anything with. Yeah, it does have an eyelid. It does have enough of an eyelid to list. So I'll say yes on this one too. The 1955. Looking for doubling in Liberty on a 1955. Oh, let's see. What I see so far is common to all of the 1955 Lincolns. No doubling on this one. So the 1955 is a dud. It's 55S. Am I supposed to be looking for doubling in Liberty on a 55S? I'm not seeing it. Nothing on the reverse either. Looks like you're 2 for 3, brother. I'll get these taken care of and get them back to you in the mail. If you guys come up with any ideas on other things that I could do, or if you have any subjects that you'd like for me to teach using a video, let me know what it is. Send us an email. You can send it to cd@coppercoins.com, or you can send it to coppercoinspayments@gmail.com. Let us know what you think, or you could come into our Facebook group. Our Facebook page is at, facebook.com/coppercoins.com, DOTCOM, coppercoins.com. Or you can search for Coppercoins on Facebook and come to our page. You can like our page and leave comment there of what you think you'd like to see in a Coppercoins video, and we'll work on getting it produced. All right, folks, that's all I've got for right now. I'll talk to you later. We'll be on tomorrow afternoon for the roll reveal, and then at the live Q&A with Paula Bloom tomorrow evening. Have a good day.